to You Have Been Watching, the show that isn't afraid to tell television who's the boss. It's Bruce Springsteen television, deal with it. We're going to be looking at TV in a week when Tory MEP Daniel Hannan outraged millions of Britons when he appeared on America's Fox News network and attacked the NHS. Of course, Fox viewers weren't sure what that was, so the host had to explain that when Daniel Hannan said NHS, he was using letters of the alphabet. If you don't know who Daniel Hannan is, he is, of course, a boggle-eyed, slap-headed, unpleasant, revolting, heartless, shit-brained, attention-grabbing, fetid excuse for a prick. Sorry, sorry, I think I misread that. Could you just scroll the autocue back a bit? I meant to say Daniel Hannan is, of course, a boggle-eyed, slap-headed, unpleasant, revolting, heartless, shit-brained, attention-grabbing, fetid excuse for a prick. Oh, no, it turns out I got it right the first time. Piers Morgan is to interview Jerry Halliwell on his chat show this autumn. He'll be posing all the questions we've been dying to ask her. Questions like... Jordan is setting up her own TV production company. Her first production is a show following her attempt to set up a TV production company, whose first production is a show following her attempt to set up a TV production company. It's a recurring feedback loop, basically. A bit like the Large Hadron Collider, but more likely to destroy our universe. It's been reported Vernon Kay's brother Stephen is set to follow in Vernon's footsteps. Stephen Kay will be making regular appearances on GMTV in a move Satan has described as the commencement of Phase 2. Anyway, joining me on the show this week are Ben Miller, David Mitchell and Holly Walsh. This week's TV Club choice is Desperate Romantics, BBC Two's epic drama serial which details the lives and works of the pre-Raphaelites with surprising accuracy and a wry sense of tits. It's essentially Footballers' Wives for Guardian readers, and it looks like this. Desperate Romantics is the BBC's bawdy pantomime take on the pre-Raphaelite artists, and it effectively portrays them as a modern, swaggering, girl-crazy Camden indie band transported to the 19th century and enjoying as much sex, drugs and rigmarole as possible. The Brotherhood itself consists of William Hunt on drums, known as Maniac on account of his habit of picking fights with his own paintings, the virginal John Millay on rhythm guitar, best known for painting Ophelia, and Dante Gabriel Rossetti on lead ego, a swarthy heartbreaker who looks and acts like a Mediterranean fox playing the lead in the Russell Brand story. Oh look, there he goes, someone's granddaughter with his dinkle. Other major players include sexually impotent art critic John Ruskin and his unsatisfied wife Effie, swoonsome redhead Lizzie Siddle, and cock-drunk former prostitute Annie, who's had more dicks passed through her than the House of Commons.
Reverse farm girl. Why didn't you just say so?
A knowingly ridiculous romp around the costume department, done in the style of a celebrity expose. It basically consists of Charles Dickens, Charged Dickens, Daft Chickens, oh, and some faintings, some vaintings, oh yeah, and some paintings. Looks like a soap ad.
Well, it's just a child blowing bubbles.
That's the sort of thing you'd have seen in Neverland. But on the walls, he was into art. Desperate Romantics there. If you're sitting at home thinking, I don't really know a lot about art or the pre-Raphaelites, you probably wrote it. That's not fair. What I just said, I don't think it's fair. Ben, I've seen you acting in lots of things. Did you enjoy this?
I'd have loved to have been in that. I really liked it, actually. It sort of does what I think every costume drama wants to do some of the time, you know, which is they talk in oldie English, and then they kind of drop all that whenever it suits them. And I kind of find it quite hard to get with it to start with, but then I found I was blessed by my lack of knowledge of art history, and I really, really enjoyed it. I got very, very into it.
I found that because I'm completely ignorant when it comes to most things, especially art history. When I watched this, they literally could have cut to Charles Dickens on a jet ski, and I'd have just gone, yeah, that probably happened in Dickensian London.
I resented this show so much because I studied art history for 3 years, and it was probably the most boring 3 years of my life. And this made art history look incredibly exciting. And I thought if this is what it was really like, then I was missing out, because they did not mention this in any of the textbooks that I ever read.
What, the amount of sex they had? And
To be fair, the sex the artists had when they weren't doing their art isn't strictly relevant to an art history degree. it would be relevant to a people having sex degree. A history of fucking. By the way, some of these people who fucked were painters. Some of them were plumbers, some of them were kings, some of them were generals. But the thing about them we're studying is that they fucked.
Can you do that? Can you do a degree in, like, the history of plumbers fucking?
No, you can't, and it's right that you can't. But what you can do is a degree in art history in which they neglect to mention that the people who did the art also fucked.
Yeah, but...
Because it goes without saying. People have always fucked. Hence people.
Foul-mouthed little man
I was
you
just
are!
saying, is this the wrong time to check whether or not we can broadcast the word fucked on this?
It's a bit late. We are allowed... I think we are allowed to say fuck. It's edgy.
Because I could redo it all with slap and tickle or something.
They don't seem that interested. They don't seem that interested in the art. I must say, there's not... like, which I found refreshing.
I think they're... Yeah, exactly. It's the same as the viewers. You know.
Did you? I mean,
no one's that interested in the art.
Where
They're more
do you
interested
stand?
in television programmes with lots of sex in them.
Did you enjoy this?
I did, yes. Yeah. I thought I wasn't going to enjoy it because it's sort of the way it was sort of pitched to me was that it was about, you know, how at this point in the past everyone was carrying on just like a load of kids might carry on now. And I don't look for that in a historical drama. What I want is people doing things that are different from now.
Right,
you know,
yes.
like having battles.
I found it, what I liked about this, because normally when you see dramas where there's, you know, with an artist in them, the artist is incredibly serious and pretentious. And I like the fact that in this, they're twats. Basically, they're oafish. It's kind of like porkies or something.
It's actually really good stories about the characters. It's really good relationship stories. That's when it really started to grip me, and that's the bit that I really... And the tits, obviously.
Yeah,
But there are a lot of tits.
Precisely, though, actually, there's not tits in it, there's breasts.
Sorry? What do you mean?
They're not tits, are they? They're breasts in this, I would say.
What, if it's art, they're breasts?
Yeah, it's breasts.
And in a newspaper, they're tits?
It's tits in a newspaper, yeah.
That's kind of what this is. It's an excuse to watch soft porn on a Sunday night before you go to work the next day.
Are you saying it's tits masquerading as breasts?
That's exactly what you're saying.
That is exactly
Well,
what
you
BBC is saying, strokey beard, licence fee, these are breasts. No, they're not, they're tits.
Well, I've got a question that pertains to sex and this programme. In the programme, Rossetti gave something to Millet to assist with his seduction of Ruskin's wife. What was it? I'll give you a clue. It's something you might have in your wallet.
Money.
You could use that.
And prophylactic.
I'm going to give you a point for that. Let's have a look at this thing.
You'd better take this. By way of thanks for these. Just remember to rinse it out afterwards. And before, come to think of it.
Yes, intriguing historical detail and wonderful advice on hygiene there. Yes, Rossetti gave Millet a condom. I'm no expert, but I'd say that was from the pre-Featherlight era.
Well, that does remind me of the thing about the programme that I did find really irritating, which was that thing that came up at the front, which said, ooh, they were a bit crazy, so we've gone a bit crazy. I just think, are we having, like, disclaimers at the beginning of drama now, just to sort of prove to people that it's not real? Do you know what I mean? It didn't really, it was quite crazy, it's a bit of drama, go with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I think we can see that. I think we've got that. Yes, it said the pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood were inspired by the real world around them, yet took imaginative licence in their art. This story, based on their lives and hopes, follows in that inventive
Fasten your
spirit.
seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen.
It's basically, so it might as well be saying this is filmed in bollocks, O Vision.
It's like saying, well, the thing is, it's perfectly OK to just make up a story and put it in a drama or a film. In fact, admirable.
Yeah.
They've decided...
Sort of the idea.
We're not quite up to that, you know, making up a whole story, so we'll keep the stabilisers of history on, but then sort of bollock around with it.
I think it's just honest.